What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever.
Period, mother.
I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee, and we're here today to talk about the third drop of Love is Blind, episodes 10 and 11 or whatever. This was just a quick little jizz. How you feeling about the season? We still moving forward.
I'm really shout out
Period,
to Alex.
Josiane.
Period, Josiane in the chat.
Sorry, keep going.
But this season, I'm happy that Alex and Tim and Hannah and Nick came to the conclusion that they were not meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
The only couple that should be getting married on the finale is Garrett and Taylor. If your names are not Garrett and Taylor, you need to hang it the fuck up. So I'm really happy that those two couples came to that conclusion these two episodes, because if we're being honest, most of these couples should have came to this conclusion right after the pods, in the pods.
Plug it.
Shouldn't even made it outside of the pods. We had to get off episode 11 to break off relationships that should have ended
episode 1.
Even
should have never started.
That's not even the word. Conceived. Okay.
We are 3 couples left after this episode, and it needs to just be one. So I'm glad we got 2 down. Let's try to get these other 2 knocked out by next episode.
I feel like they get into the altar. Well, next season is next week is the marriage, the wedding. So I do feel like all 3 of them are gonna go to the altar. Now I could see Ashely saying yes. I just feel like Marissa Ramses is gonna be a no. They're gonna be a no.
It's leading to a no.
I feel like Ashley's gonna end up saying yes, and it's like, please, girl. I just hope by the time we get to the reunion, that ship has sailed, because ain't no way after all this tea that's been coming out, you still with that man.
We're gonna put a hold on it, because that every time it stresses me out talking about Ashely and Tyler. So we're just gonna put a hold on that. Let's get into our motherfucker. Let's get into the couples. Y'all. Starting it off with these 2, Alex and Tim. I could have told you this from day 1, literally, that this was going to leave in this situation.
I mean, quite literally, just the most unserious couple. Like, I'm not shocked that it ended like this. I feel like I'm shocked that it ended over a nap. But I guess when he kind of starts breaking down the issues he's had with her, it's giving that Tim has been, collecting a list in his head. And I really don't like people like that. If I was really hearing what Alex was saying, like, you have to communicate if something is an issue, because if I don't know it's an issue, I'm going to continue doing by my business. Like, I'm not going to recognize it. And it seems like Tim has been collecting a list probably since Mexico, when he first wanted to leave. And it all came to a head when she took a nap when his family was there.
And it's like, oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. I already said last episode, when they had the little tiffle in Mexico, I was like, clearly Tim's boundaries are very extreme, and he pretty much needs to reevaluate his boundaries as it is, because it's a lot that he's kind of expecting. Because that's the thing, he basically tells Alex in this argument, he's like, I mean, it doesn't seem like something I should even have to communicate. And it's like, that means he's just expecting the other person, whoever he gets with, to automatically fully understand exactly what he needs without ever communicating it. And that's ridiculous. And he probably needs to change that boundary so that he can start communicating. But until then, you're just going to have to stay unmarried how you are currently. And that's the problem, because it's like you want marriage. And I do genuinely believe Tim wants marriage. But if you want marriage, you're going to have to understand that there's things that you might have to change or compromise on whenever you're in a situation. And it seems like he's very much so an immovable object. And so is Alex.
Yeah.
This whole thing on both ends. It's like,
I feel like neither one was necessarily willing to fully compromise kind of what they've already been doing, but it also didn't seem like either one of them was necessarily that invested in each other. Like, it just seems like they were kind of down for the ride. I do feel like the way it ended, it was more so on Tim than Alex, only because it just seems like he's just been sitting on all of this and not speaking on it. And it seems like Alex would be really willing to, like, move forward like she did after Mexico. But like you said, like, Tim is just this immovable object, and he's not willing to bend or break at all off of what he's feeling. And in that moment, he felt like, well, I don't want to be with this woman. But it's like I said, he definitely should have communicate this a while back. Like, it goes back to you feeling like she didn't cook after you made all of this food. It's like, that's something I have to talk about. You can't just expect that out of the blue. So I hate that he just kind of dropped it instead of trying to like communicate it. However, I also see the fact of like, we're supposed to be getting married in 2 weeks and we are clearly not in sync with each other. Let's go ahead here.
Yeah, I agree. And this was one of the ones that were like edited appropriately, because like this argument was because Alex had met Tim's parents. They talked for a long time. And then after the cameras were gone, she like went and took a nap. So I was like, okay, at least y'all this time you have a reason why the cameras weren't there. Clearly, this was something that happened literally because the cameras had left. So I'll give them grace on that. But bitch, when I tell you every single situation that's happened, the cameramans are gone. Where the fuck are the cameramen? In the bathroom?
Love is Blind paying them for, because they're not catching any of the fucking drama.
Bitch, we're blind.
Like, the drama is blind. Like, I'm so sick of not being able to see it and then coming in halfway through a conversation that just feels so incomplete. Especially with Marissa and Ramses. We got that a lot with Marissa and Ramses over these last 2 episodes. And I'm just like, where was the start of this conversation? Because it clearly was not here.
Right. They's harding in the fucking middle. But this one was fine. And my thing is, so Tim's problem is she was talking to his parents. And this is the thing. This is what Alex was saying. Why did we get so far to where I'm meeting your parents? You're meeting my parents. You've had my dad start crying and breaking down, talking about my hand in marriage. And then literally 2 days later, you're done.
You're over. You should have never the nap being the
over last. A nap.
No.
Like, no, you should have. And I said it when it happened, when they had the Mexico argument, it was very clear that what Tim is expecting is not something that Alex is going to give. So he should have cut it off there and then, but he didn't do that. And he claimed that he would be able to move forward. But it's like, clearly you weren't. You clearly weren't, because they're still the same ideology. And like I said,
it gave very much that he had just been clocking things probably since then about her that he didn't like about her and wasn't communicating at all.
And I don't understand that, because I feel like I don't know, when it comes to a relationship specifically, we're going to get married, or even if we're just dating, if you have any inkling of a problem, you have to address it. Period. You can't just have it lingering in the back of your mind moving forward, and y'all are getting married in 10 days. That makes no sense. Terrible, horrid communication. You know what's surprising? It's surprising this show doesn't already have a counselor along with it. I feel like there should be a marriage counsel part to this show. Literally. I just randomly thought of it, but it's like there should be someone there to tell Tim, not to kind of like play in his face, but there should be someone available for them to discuss some of these things, so Tim can know that the way that he's handling communication is not effective. Because I feel like leaving this, even when they're arguing, he's like, or like when he's trying to say his point, Alex do be talking over people. I'm not gonna lie. So she was talking over him, but by the time he got done with the point, he's just like, as long as we are both in the same understanding, that I don't ever want to see you again. Okay, bye. And then he left.
That was so sick. It was like, because he really had already made his mind up. Like, as soon as he felt like, let's break it down a little bit more, go through it a little bit so we can really discuss it.
Yeah, because so after he sits her down, she's eating. First of all, she hadn't ate all day, and she was like, "Oh, I still want to eat. Can I sit here?" And he's like, "I'd rather you sit here so we can, talk face to face, have a real conversation." So he's already coming in a little hot, y'all. So then she goes and she's eating her fries as he's talking to her, which makes it feel unserious. No shade. Yeah. And Tim is like, "Look, something happened with my parents that I didn't appreciate. My parents drove 10 hours to meet you. And then as soon as the cameras were off, you went straight to bed, went straight to sleep." And Alice is like explaining, she's like, "I was very exhausted. We did talk for hours with your parents about what it meant to them, what it meant to you, how it meant to me. I was just drained after that." And then Tim is talking about how he tried to communicate, like how he was feeling with her. And she cut him off here. And she was like, "Well, let me stop you, because we talked like 3 times, but it was never really clearly communicated within that." And Tim is like, "Well, let me finish." Because, he don't like being cut off. And then when he finishes, he's basically saying, I talked to you this time, and this time, but you were short with me every single one of those times. Like I talked about your tire and you were like, oh, okay, and this is this. And Alex was basically like, I didn't have anything to say. And if you would have expressed that you wanted more communication that way, then I would have done that. Like how I did later on when I called you and I was letting you know I like talking on the phone. So I was calling you, letting you know that, but you never let me know that you would prefer to communicate like via text. And it's like at this point, no shade. I was like, okay, if y'all arguing about text versus phone call.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally arguing over semantics. Like they're arguing over like you're not responding to my text. And like, well, I will say a lot of this is coming from Tim. Like Tim is upset that she didn't wash the dishes. He's upset that she didn't respond to his text. He's upset that she took a nap. It's like, why are you letting these little small things build up over time and then not blowing up, but like coming to this conclusion on your own instead of communicating that with your partner? But I also feel like on Alex's point of view, I feel like because she's never felt that invested in the relationship, that maybe she could have given a little bit more. Like going back to the text message situation, it's like reply to the man. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
why did you just not reply?
Yeah, well, I really don't know the details of like, did she reply when she woke up, or how did he feel when that happened? But I just feel like neither one of them gave into the relationship that much. But especially Alex, like she's like trying to work past it, but it's like you're not really involved enough in the relationship to try and build past this at this point. Like, of course, the relationship can end over something so simple because have y'all really connected on anything deep at all?
Right. And these are the same issues of their first argument, in my opinion, because basically the situation was Alex was shutting down, wasn't talking to him. And he was trying to get, like, he assumed, he wasn't trying to get clarity. He assumed this, and this. And they started arguing about it. And that's very similar to this because basically Alex didn't respond to his message. And he's kind of taking that as a negative. And this is something on my list. It's very Hannah coded. I'm not going to lie. Tim has this list of things that he feels like Alex is doing. And he's like, oh, I did all of the cooking and cleaning or all of the cooking for this family, for her family. And then I came home and the dishes wasn't clean. And oh, I messaged her and she didn't do this. And it's like, it's all about what Alex isn't doing. And it's like, that's not going to be a healthy start to a relationship if you're so concerned about all the things that she's not doing. What is she doing? What do you like about her? And that's the problem. Like, did he ever find out what he liked about her from the beginning with the pods? Because I don't even remember those type of conversations of him discussing what he likes about Alex. So now we're here,
and
it's much shit he don't like about
to
Alex.
His sisters and saying he wants another sister for this, and I want to bring my parents a daughter and things like that. Like it goes back to that they only ever connected on this really, really traumatic experience, and they didn't grow past that. I don't think either one of them were right for each other. Like honestly, it doesn't seem like Alex is looking to be in a relationship, and I just think Tim is looking for a very particular person, and it's definitely not Alex.
I agree. And Alex is very like, because someone in the chat was like, Alex is lazy. I feel like lazy sounds bad, but I see why you would say that, because like when it comes to the relationship part, she doesn't seem super invested. Like she doesn't seem like she's putting all this extra effort in. And a lot of the other couples, you kind of see that energy. Like you see them putting extra effort into this. And Alex kind of just seems like she's chilling and she's just vibing. And you can't be trying to get married with someone just vibing off of vibes, especially because y'all aren't even really vibing, like y'all are just existing, and y'all just had an argument not too long ago. He was ready to leave not too long ago. And it's like for her to not even put in effort after he was ready to leave, like she kind of just continued to act similarly to how she was before he was ready to leave. It's like, okay, you didn't even change anything, girl. Do you really care? So honestly, it was for the better. I didn't even understand why she was trying to prevent him from not leaving and talk it out. It's not giving talk it out, babe. It's giving
let him go. You should be happy, praising God that he decided he wanted to get up and leave. I mean, saying he never wants to see her again, because he seemed like, I don't know, like he obviously didn't show it, which is like kudos to him for like showing restraint, but it's like he seemed like way too upset over these simple ass things.
He
like
was disgusted a little bit.
He's like, I just like, you're not the type of person I want to be with. Like, I don't see you as my wife. I never want to see you again. I just feel like, damn, is it really that deep? Like, because the small things she's mentioning, like, it's not anything major if y'all had just discussed it. But I don't think any one of them should have really been in this experience at all.
And both need therapy, so I hope they get that. Period. For real, especially before you try to get in a relationship, Tim has a lot of things that he needs to like, clear out. We've already discussed a few of them, but even his particularness about what he expects from his partner, it's a little too much. Like, I would feel overwhelmed if I was Alex and I was sitting there and he's like, yeah, I mean, thinking about the text yesterday, you didn't even reply. And yeah, when I made that food, you didn't wash the dishes. I would be like, God.
Yeah.
Woo!
And it's crazy because he's like, oh, I am communicating with you. I am communicating with you. And then he goes on to later say, well, I shouldn't have to communicate these things. Yeah. So it's like, are you communicating or you shouldn't have to?
Right.
But you clocked
why shouldn't you have to? Like, what?
Literally. But you clocked it early on when he said, I don't usually argue in relationships and things like that. Like, if something happens, I kind of just take my space and go away. And you was like, or do you not communicate? And it's like, well, he does not communicate. He finds an issue, he ponders on it, and then he basically blows up, which is this was not a blow up, but like it ended in him breaking off the entire engagement. So like technically it is some type of blow up. And it's like, this is why you don't sit on the emotions. That's why, like me, I'm a very vocal with my emotions. I'm a Pisces, we're very emotional, water signs. If anyone's watching that's a Pisces or water sign, y'all get it. And you can ask Pharaoh, when there's an issue, I'm gonna voice the issue. Now I low-key feel like Pharaoh's the type of person to sit on thing and then say it like months later, and it's like, where is this coming from?
A lot of times
I will say it, and I feel like a lot of people feel like, well, oh, you're being extra-ly, like you're and it's like, well, no, like there's an issue, I'm addressing it. I hate the idea of you telling me something that I've been doing for months when it's like you could have told me that and I would have stopped it then.
Exactly. It's a well, at least from Pisces red flag. I agree. At least from
I always said Pisces red flag.
Because in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, is different for me. For me, I ain't pondering on nothing, no shade. Like there's nothing that can like. I'm very strict when it comes to a relationship. Everything needs to get addressed. We need to be clear, cut, and clean, and crystal. When with like a friendship or another type of relationship, it's a little different because a part of me is like, it actually makes more sense when we're talking about Hannah and Nick, because I remember Nick is like, I feel like you're wanting to change me by bringing up all of these things. And I feel like a part of me in a friendship, when I'm bringing up certain issues that I'm like, this isn't an issue in the friendship, it's more of an issue I have, a pet peeve I have. And it's like those type of things don't matter as much in a friendship. Like Alex not texting Tim, like if they were just friends, that's not something to bring up to a friend that much, because it's not like they're going to get married or even washing the dishes. It's like stuff like that is like way less important to bring up, but that stuff can still build up. So it's like, it's kind of something you still should talk about, but it just feels weird, a little more weird to talk about. You didn't text me, friend, and I'm upset about that, because it's like, why am I kind of more feel like the weight is on me, on the sense of, why am I so concerned that they didn't text me back? I'm not going to bring that up because why don't I give a fuck? But these people need to leave. I'm glad they left each other. I hope they find happiness, peace, and solace alone. Okay, well, not alone, but not with each other. Next, we have, who do we have? Oh Lord.
What and can we really get
Lord
some claps for Nick? He is free.
He
is finally free from Hannah. And I feel like with Hannah, like, I feel bad because every time I see her on social media, like, they're dragging the fuck out of Hannah.
Yeah.
And I want to be like that person that's like, she's not that bad. Like, of course she has her issues, but she's not this terrible person. And I just like every drop, she makes it worse for her damn self. Because it's like, the way she just belittles him in every conversation, she does not like him. She does not like him. She hasn't liked him since the pods, and she's been pretending. And it took 11 episodes for her to finally break it off. And I don't know why it took this long. It's like, it's honestly crazy, but like, Nick has the patience of a saint, because the way she was talking to him and the way she got her friends to help gaslight him, I would have cussed everybody out. Everybody would have got friends. Even the friends, because they were talking to him just as crazy. And it's like, oh wow, like, y'all really all hang out with each other because y'all all are evil gaslighters. Like, oh my
God. No, honestly, and I feel a little bad when she be getting dragged on social media too. But even with Tim, like with Hannah and Tim, how they have all these expectations, I don't think it's wrong to have expectations for a partner. I just think that there's a a limit that you should provide yourself and some grace you should provide them, to where it's like these are stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be extreme concerns for even you. And that's why I feel like with Hannah, with him, it's like you need therapy. Everybody needs therapy. I say it all the time, but like, you need to look a little inwards to see why there's so much concern for some of these
But
things.
I don't even know how she can open her mouth to say that she loves him. She has had an issue with him with almost everything that he does since the pods. And it's like, how can you even open your mouth to say that? Like, I really don't get it. I don't know what she thought she was providing in this situation, but it was not love, it was not comfort, like it was just straight belittling. And it's like, of course you have your expectations, but like she's treating them like demands. And she's acting like these are just like these huge, just like groundbreaking issues, when it's like they've been discussing the same things. Well, she's been belittling him for the same things for days at this point, for weeks at this point. It's like, oh, your parents take care of you. Oh, you don't pay any bill. Oh, you're immature. I just feel like I have to make you a man. Da, 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 da. Like it's like every single conversation that they have, she's belittling him. And it's like, if you don't like him, then just leave him.
I do think she liked him, Lee. I really do. I really feel like
she's delusional, and so
I really feel like if she was in a situation where it was her and her dad, and she was living with her dad, she would give her dad a list of things. Like I don't know this girl for real, but
well, probably because the family seemed tired of her too. No shade.
They did.
Her mama. What she said, she told her mama, I feel like we don't connect intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and maturity level. And the mama was like, none of that matters as long as you love each other. Like the mama is trying to get her, her off to somebody.
Please. But no, I really do think she it's an internal thing. I feel like a lot of this was projection in a way, in one way or the other, because I would have loved to see Hannah with someone who was like, who actually did look like Travis Kelce, because my theory is she still would have acted the same.
Well,
but I don't know.
I low-key think she needs somebody to like check her real quick.
Yeah,
I think that it just so happens she got with someone who is
a doormat.
Low-key a doormat, no shade. Like Nick, if Nick had it his way, they would be married and he would be putting up her shit for life. And that's like we see relationships like this IRL. Like this, the man, he's kind of quiet, he doesn't do too much, and the woman, she's the dominant one in a relationship, and she's basically running it like the parents of the family. And I think this would have been that relationship.
Yeah,
but so thankfully it didn't last.
Yeah, thankfully for him. Like, and he shouldn't allow that. He really shouldn't allow that. It was definitely giving doormat. It's giving push over. And I feel for Nick. I be feeling that sometimes. I really do. But, whoo, baby, you cannot let somebody talk to you crazy for the rest of your life. That was crazy. Because the fact that Hannah broke it off with Nick, you should have broken off with her.
He should have been broken off with her. And he was actually like sad about it. Like he was very much upset. And it's like, Nick, babies, you should be praising God right now. Literally. You dodged the bullet. And now now IRL, he done moved out from his family's basement. He got his own place. He got a job. He got money. He got swag a little bit. You know? And it's like, give it some time, girl. Let him grow into that man. Now I understand. You don't want to be Barbara the Builder, so you don't need to stay with him and like get him through it. But it's like I said, just leave him, because I do feel like some of the things that Hannah was saying wasn't like out of the ordinary or too much. Like I do think there's a maturity level that Nick isn't necessarily at, or I don't think that he's at the same maturity level that she's at, because she's been working since 18 and taking care of herself. That's understandable. To me, it just comes down to, girl, you should have been cut it off because you don't like him. Point blank,
period. Honestly. So we see them, they do finally some like team building exercises. So relationship building exercise.
You would think, because they had summit ropes and they climbing and they going over the ropes, they climbing the rock wall, and then she ends up belittling him at the
end of the rock wall.
Like, what the hell? We can't even have fun without getting to a conversation about how immature I am and how I can't pay any bills.
And she's like asking him, she's so fucking condescending, because she's like asking him, she's like, I mean, are you still ready to get married to me? Like, I don't know. And it's like she almost wants him to say he's not ready so she can just use that as a reason. Oh, well, we can't do it. Damn. And it's like,
is that what
girl,
it is? Has she just been looking for a reason this whole time?
like, stand on business. Like, you stand on your business, and if you don't want to get married with him, then don't get married with him. Ever since y'all met before that, the whole time, you could tell she had this weird ass energy towards him, and she wasn't feeling it. If you're not feeling it,
a lot of people feel like it's because
God.
he's this privileged guy. His family still takes care of him. They love him. They help pay his bills. And she was kicked out at 18 like she was nothing. So they feel like she is just taking out her anger off that on him. I don't know how I feel about that, only because I think we've discussed it a few times on the podcast. I think she does this with any man. Like, even if it was a man that had the same exact backstory as her, she probably acts the exact same way because this is like internal issues. But I can see like how she keeps throwing it in his face that maybe that is an inkling of feeling on her side, like of jealousy. But I don't think it's fully that. I think it's just her.
Yeah, I think maybe, like you said, an inkling. There are situations where it's like if you're in a relationship with someone and there's a difference in upbringing, especially like financial, there are some things I've seen with like people I know who've been in relationships like that. That it's like, that's something that comes up. That's definitely something that comes up, like, especially in times of like hurt, if you're feeling hurt or you're getting mad. It's like, it's a big thing to come from different upbringings and kind of feel like you had to work and you feel like the other person just got everything handed to them. And I think I think she uses that as an excuse to kind of be the way she is. But if it was someone else, she would have just found it a different excuse to be the way she is. No shade. But yeah, she's berating him at Summer Ropes.
Talking about, if it wasn't all of this, I think she probably would have found more things to be upset about. Yeah, like, I'm really curious as to what she would do with a man that lived on his own, paid his own rent, paid his own bills. But I feel like she would have just found something else to be doing this over.
100%. So, dang, I wish we could see Hannah with somebody else. Bring her back. So,
you the only person saying that.
So it's a little entertaining, no shade. Like some of the other girls, I'm like bored. So I'll give her that. So she's berating him, talking about he ain't ready to be married, or asking him if he is. And he's saying yes. And she's like, you didn't even answer my question. And it's like, he did. He literally just said yes. But she's too ready like to argue with him at every single turn. And he says, like, after our parents met each other, and they seem to approve, then I was like perfectly fine. And she was like, well, it's not up to them. At the end of the day, it's up to us, isn't it?
And it's like, you just want to fucking argue.
And it's like, she's like using every single thing he says. She's like interpreting it in his mind. Her mind has a filter to make it the most negative thing ever. He could say, I like cupcakes, and that's going to equate to her being like,
well, God, children like cupcakes. I haven't had cupcakes since I was 5 years old.
He's so childish. He could say, oh my God, like, I tie my shoe every day. She'd be like, oh my God, tying your shoe? Like, I just makes me think of like, childish. Like, you're not actually, like, everything he does. He wobbled on the Summit Ropes Challenge, and she was like, yeah, even like the wobble, it was just making me think like, are you prepared for this? Like, are you going to be able to be stable? Is there going to be stability in our life? Like, God damn, you're draining the literal life out of me as a viewer.
Like, I don't want to be the only one starting deep conversations. And it's like, do you start any conversation other than just judging him? Like, what conversation do you start? Because talking about taxes and bills and insurance is not deep conversation.
Judging him about taxes and bills and insurance ain't shit. It's a different, and I said that last episode, it's a difference from starting a conversation and from you berating him, because she asked, do you think you're ready to get married? He said yes, because our parents also approved. And she said, well, that don't have shit to do with it, because my decision. If you're asking the question, just ask the question and then take the answer for what it was and then say your opinion. Every single thing he responds with, she has a counter argument to, as if you're trying to argue with her.
And this is when I really said, like, this is fucking crazy. We're at Summit Ropes. Why is it getting this deep? He's like, well, honestly, I feel like you treat me like I'm a level below you. Like, I want to be treated as an equal. This girl looked at him and said, I think you get treated as an equal when you start contributing like one.
Like, what?
And it's like, am I talking to my boss, my mother? Like,
gee whiz,
who am I speaking
to? Even my boss saying that would be disrespectful as fuck. Like, who the fuck is you talking to, mamas?
Like, so now I don't treat you like an equal because you don't contribute as an equal. And it's like, we're not even married yet. Can you give me a chance to contribute to anything? I just don't get it. And like, apparently he's the one with the job in the scenario, so I don't get how he's not contributing. Like, if they were to move in, like, wouldn't he be able to provide? Like, clearly he has a job, he makes money. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get why she like is okay with speaking to him like that. I saw on social media that she did an interview, and apparently she apologized to him while filming, and apparently she's spoken to him after some of the episodes have dropped too, I think, and apologized again. So it's like clearly she may see the error in her ways, but it's like I don't get how like she really spent the time in this relationship just dragging this man every chance she got.
Yeah, that was literally insane. How could she even feel like comfortable? Like, I guess like she's thinking, not even thinking, like it's a behind the closed door situation. Usually these conversations would just be in the household, but it's like it getting put on blast like this is probably healthy for Hannah, because now you see how the world would view this if these relationships, like conversations, weren't behind closed doors. If she would have just got with someone off the street and was never on TV, she would probably just live her life thinking that it's okay to talk to them about that. She justified every single conversation she had with him, and then her friends would justify it as well to her. So it's like you're in a situation where your parents are yes men, your family's yes men, your friends are yes men, even though they don't even agree. Probably the friends, they might agree, but the family members, he didn't even agree, but they were still like, well, Hannah, just get with him. And the brother, he didn't say anything until she left the room. It's like they're moving around her like she's a monster, and they can't say it around her like she's Lord Voldemort. And they're like, well, we can't talk about her when she's in the room, but when she's out the room, like, Nick, you're kind of right. And she does do a lot. And well, Hannah, I mean,
no, like when her own brother essentially turned his back on her and was like, yeah, she does do those things. Like, oh, if my sister was on national TV taking the side of the person, I'm no. But it just goes to show, like, clearly she's like this IRL all the time.
And that's the problem. So we get to the little flapper 20s party. Girl, I don't know what year that is. Little flapper party they have where they bring back
1920s Renaissance era. Yeah,
1920s. I don't know what
Great Gatsby
means. Is that what that means? Great Gatsby era, Renaissance.
Yeah, that's the same era.
Oh, okay, boom. Yeah, Great Gatsby. Is that a real era?
Yeah, the Renaissance era. That was a time of like in America where like high prosperity. You know, a lot of people had a lot of money. Things were low priced, and then a Republican president ruined it.
Which one? You know,
the actor before Trump.
Okay,
Carter. Which one? Not Carter. It could have been Carter.
I don't know. The actor before Trump. So anyways, we had the flapper party, and Katie, who, girl, I don't know who that is, but apparently she was in the pods. I remember,
and she's Hannah's bestie. They're best friends for life. They've known each other since birth.
Hannah's best friend, Katie, is at the party, and Katie was one of Nick's number ones at first, and apparently Nick was her number one at first, and they had been talking in the pods, and Nick was like, yeah, I want to talk to Katie. Hannah was like, oh, okay, cool, talk to Katie. They get there, Nick talks to Katie, they have a
good with that.
Obviously she was going to be jealous, which is crazy, because it's like, how are you jealous and you're always berating him and you in love? Bitch, I'm confused.
Like, she don't know what she wants.
She don't. So he does end up talking to Katie, and they have like a long 40-minute conversation, and I wouldn't have been okay with the things he was saying in that conversation personally, because he was doing a little flirting, a little, yeah, like, you were my number one and you're really great.
I mean, but I can't blame him. He gotta go deal with a monster every goddamn night. I mean, one conversation with a pretty girl that's not gonna berate him, shit, I'd have it too.
So not they in the chat correcting the errors. Josie, I don't know nothing, girl. Damn, not they. Oh, I don't know. But anyway,
what are we talking about? The Renaissance, the slap of the 1920s. But that's a Renaissance era in America.
But that wasn't the 1920s.
No, not the Renaissance in Europe. There's a Renaissance era in America. Is there not?
Lee be reading these history books, y'all. I be trusting Lee. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me see.
I'm not gonna lie.
The American Renaissance was a period in history that included both the literal movement and the era in the arts.
Clock that T. But what year was it?
1876 to 1917. So not 1920s.
Okay.
But there was a Renaissance era in America.
Okay, boom. Wait, history and art? That's like Michael D'Angelo.
I don't know.
Okay.
So I heard about the American Renaissance. I'm not gonna be gaslit.
So, Nick, not the Harlem. I have to reverse it. Girl, we're not gonna do this. This is not history. Nick and Hannah. So, Nick does talk to this girl. They was flirting, I ain't even gonna lie. And Katie's walking around the motherfucking thing, talking about her best friend's man. about how he's so hot and girl, I'm so sorry and da 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 da. Now I don't know what the culture is like in different cultures when it comes to best friends, boyfriends. But if my best friend was walking around calling my boyfriend hot and sexy all fucking night, we fighting by the end of
Okay.
the night.
I'm sorry.
Personally.
I was googling it because
Oh, okay. We'll see. No, we'll see. It's
no. It says so. I'm assuming I was talking about this because it says the Harlem Renaissance was a period of cultural expression that took place in the 1920s and 1930s during the Roaring Twenties and the Jazz Age. So I knew what
Harlem Renaissance.
But I get what y'all saying. The Renaissance, okay. The Europe. I get what y'all trying to say.
Have y'all seen the? Who is these people?
I watched the video. We don't gotta discuss it because Pharaoh don't even know who they are.
Girl, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Nick says, Nick basically he talks to this girl, they flirt a little bit. The girl is telling everybody he's hot. She tells him he's hot, and then she kind of pours a lot of positivity into him. And I thought this moment was gonna wake him up because she's like, look, you're a great man. I did think you were a little immature, but other than that, you're a really good man. You're so sweet and kind and positive. You spread this happy, nice, joyful energy. You can give everything that you can get. You can really provide. I know you could be a man and you could pick me up and you could throw me down and you could put me in the bed and you could put me around and all of that. And she's like
Bestie with Hannah?
And she's supposed to be Hannah's best. Oh, I don't know about other cultures like similar to Hannah's culture because I'm not a part of that culture. And I don't know how y'all operate over there. But if my best friend was talking about my boyfriend, my fiance, on some I'm hot and he's hot and he's cute and he's this and this, it's not giving best friend. Like it's giving
and I feel like Nick kind of said that later. Like, why are you checking me and not checking your best friend?
Ooh, ain't that your friend?
Ain't that your friend?
Oh, that's a good
question. And that's your friend,
find her. But then again, that's not Hannah Fran for real. She met this girl 30
days.
Girl,
that is not Hannah Fran. That's my bestest friend in the whole world, and you're talking to her?
So, yeah, they go home. Hannah's clearly pressed by this. And she basically asked Nick, what did she tell him? And Nick is like, I mean, we just talked about, shit. And she was like, well, what shit did y'all talk about? She's trying to get the specifics. I will say, if he wasn't trying to tell me the specifics, I would have been mad too.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about? But he eventually kind of explains it vaguely that we talked about our stuff in the pods and then me being with you and da 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 da. And it's like, y'all definitely got into some shit. And she's like, well, y'all were talking for 40 minutes. So what's fucking keep
account.
Because that's my best friend. And of course I'm gonna be intrigued by what you, my husband, my fiance, and my best friend were talking about for 40 minutes. And that's when Nick, like Lee said, was like, why you don't ask your best friend? Ain't that your friend? And they start arguing. And it's like, what are we doing right now? Like, because it pisses me off because either she's berating him all day or she's being jealous, like this moment. And in this moment, she's like throwing words like, you do look hot and oh, I do love you. And it's like, this is the only time you're saying positive things to him.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you get text a little bit, you start, can you just go to bed? Come on. And it's like, oh, now you want to be soft. Wait, what happened?
Come on, let's go to bed. And it's like, girl, because she started getting a little excited when he started talking to her a little crazy because he was like, shit, I don't know who you talking to because and when he started getting that energy, I feel like she started getting a little happy. And I would too. But I forgot at the Harlem Renaissance party, she was talking to the girls. And she was like, yeah, I just feel like he doesn't always like provide me what I need because I be needing my pussy real bad. And he don't be eating my pussy. Like it's giving like 18-year-old. Like, why are you disgusted by eating pussy? Like it's giving 18.
And I just feel like, why are you spilling this man's business?
I'll give her that. Why you not eating Nick?
No, that's T2. That's T2.
Nick, I like boys and I'ma eat the pussy. So what the fuck is you doing? like I need you to, that's giving real
I feel like I've always said that. Like, I feel like if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody and y'all are having sexual acts, like whatever level y'all get to, I feel like should be normal. Like if you're not licking and eating and sucking on every crevice, what are we doing?
Like you could pee on me if
wait,
But yeah, if you're a man if you're claiming to be a man, eat the pussy and eat the
Period.
ass. Eat
Period.
it. Eat it. Because like that's your wife, right? Like I don't know if I can call somebody my whole wife, my whole husband. Nothing's off limits. Lee, why are you laughing?
The comment.
What comment?
Why somebody say maybe he don't want to eat your angry pussy, Hannah?
No, because the right person,
that teeth is gonna bite him.
I will say the right person can get a man to do anything because every man gonna eat my pussy, and I'm gonna just leave it there. Pussy? You want to see it?
Yeah, send the picture.
So Hannah and him are arguing, and she's basically trying to explain. She's like, "Yeah," and I talked to the girls, and I said I was gonna give you my fun side, and I couldn't even give you my fun side because you were talking to my best friend Katie, and it's like, what are we on?
She was complaining about him the whole goddamn party, so it's like, what fun side?
Girl, please, like, what do you mean? Why are they still talking about it in the chat?
Girl, because you gagged the chat with that one. You gagged the chat with you gagged the live. You gagged the live with that one. We know how you get down, Pharaoh.
It's just the dramatics for me. I just can't do the dramatics. She's just doing all of this. And Nick basically is being nonchalant. He doesn't really care because he's a little drunk. But yeah, she's like, well, can we just go to bed, babe? Can we just go to bed? We just love each other. Let's go to bed. And so that's what they do. They end up going to bed. It's like, okay, boo, 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 boo. After this, he goes and he meets Hannah's friends.
And he gets gaslit for however long.
He gets gaslit by these girls. It was fucking insane because they get to talking. Nick starts to explain that he feels like that there's things. Well, first of all, Hannah explains her icks. She has these icks about him and etc. etc. And he says he feels like these things that she's talking about, she's kind of like trying to change me for who I am. And it's like, that's very difficult. She has these very big things. And Hannah's like, I'm not trying to change you. And Nick was like, well, that's not really what you were saying last night. You were kind of saying last night that's what you needed me to do. And Hannah's friends jump in and they're like, well, these are just little things she's asking. Like, I don't know why they seem like such a big deal for you. Like asking you to take out the trash, like that's not changing who you are. That's just an action. That's just a thing. Like that's just a thing to do. Like you should just be able to just take out the trash. It's just one simple thing.
Like I don't even think the issue is that. Like he's willing to take out the trash. Like, and every time like they are berating him, he's like, no, I'm willing to do that. Like it's fine. Like I love Hannah. I want to move forward with that. And they're still trying to make it seem like, oh, well, you just have this big issue with these little things. And it's like, of course, they don't have the full story. They don't see how their friend talks to this man 24/7, but they probably wouldn't even care, which is like, fine, protect your sister. I get it. But it's like, you look stupid defending somebody that's been trashing this man in every conversation and making it seem like something that is such a huge issue when it's not the case.
Exactly. And they're like, basically, and that's, I think what he couldn't really express exactly how he was feeling when they were like kind of twisting it in a way where
they was
like,
jumping him.
Yeah, they were jumping him and they were like twisting it. They were making it seem like he was making a big deal out of it. And that's not the issue that he's having. The issue is that every time she's bringing these situations up, she's berating him as a man. She's saying you act like a little boy and I have to make you a man and you're not understanding how to do this and you can't do this and you're disrespecting me because of the way you act and why do you do this? And it's like she's doing way much more than what they were probably told, right? And the way like it's expressed to them, they don't understand it. But as they're watching this back with Hannah, I hope they're like, damn, you didn't say you was doing all of that. Like, hold on, you said he wasn't taking the trash out. Not that you were saying like this, but he really got gaslit for 30 minutes, probably an hour. So that sucks. That was very sad. And that was like icky to see. I hate seeing somebody get gaslit. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and then like she's saying things like, I just feel like he doesn't want to say how he feels sometimes. And it's like, well, maybe he's scared, Hannah.
Yeah, as he should be. And I get that too, because it's like on Nick's side, he should be saying whatever he's feeling in the moment. Really, what he should be doing is breaking up with her. Like it's at a point, it's like, fuck all of that. Just break up with her. And I'm just glad they're over it because I can't even tell him what he should have done because she was doing a lot. I'm not gonna lie. So this is when she goes and she talks to her mom, and it's like the day before the dress fittings or the day of the dress.
That was a good thing what you said a little bit. Like I feel like we literally cannot critique. Like, cause I feel like Nick probably does have some issues with him, but it's like I can't even find those issues or critique those issues because Hannah is being such a huge bitch 24/7. Like, it's like there's so much that she's adding that's just toxic and volatile, and it's like I can't even figure out if there's any issues on his end because, girl, you have so many, and it's no shade.
Yeah. And it's no shade. So she goes and she talks to her mom. Like, it's to the point where I would rather like put my head in a boiling pot of water instead of listen to Hannah. Gee whiz. Like, girl, shut up. So she's talking to her mom and she's like, yeah, mom, like, I just feel like I have to like teach him how to love. Like, I literally have to drag him to teach him how to love. It's always her teaching him how to do something. She teaching him how to be a boy, how to clean the dishes, how to take out the trash. She got to teach him how to do his taxes, how to drive a car. She's teaching him how to love, how to live, how to learn. She's teaching him how to be a kicker for a D1 football team. Like, goddamn, she teaching him fucking everything. That shit is pissing me off. What are you talking about? Teach him how to love. Teach me how to love.
It's like, girl, do you even know how to love? Like,
show me the way to surrender my heart. Girl, I'm so lost. I'm sorry. So yeah, teach him how to love. It's like, girl, please, like, you're pissing me the fuck off. And she's basically saying she doesn't feel comfortable going to do the dress fitting because she don't want to marry him, and she been knew that from the whole fucking time. She just wanted some screen time, and now you're getting dragged by the internet, queen. God damn.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, later on, after the dress fitting, we get a scene of her talking to Nick, and basically, this is where she's like telling him how she feels and why she wants to break up with him. And she's like, you know, what was the first thing you said to me in the pods? Didn't you say you wanted someone to push you and make you do better? And he was like, yeah, I did say that. She was like, well, let's talk about my 5 concerns. You know, they never really went away. Social awareness, respect, you know, ego versus confidence. Like, is it your ego or is it just your confidence? Because there's a lot of times you're telling me like that I'm making you not feel confident. I don't think it's me. I think it's your ego. Delusion. You know, you're very delusional, but for many reasons.
And
so
like,
it's like,
what's so crazy? It's like, why is she like angry at him? It's like there's like this anger or like annoyance that she has. It's like it's been like that since the beginning, and it's like this man hasn't done anything to you. Like, who hurt Hannah for real?
Literally, and this is just so weird. It's like it's not productive in a relationship to point out all of your issues with who he is as a person. These aren't taking out the trash, because if the list would have been responsible, question mark, can he be a good father, question mark, that's more relationship oriented. It makes sense. This is talking about who he is as a person. She said social awareness, what, respect, ego versus confidence, delusion. These are personality traits that you feel like you are getting from him, and it's not about the relationship. Like, what does this do for your relationship? Like, it's nothing that is collaborative. These are all solo things about him that she doesn't like. If he would have made a list and he was like insecure, aggressive, question mark, like, anyone can do this about anyone. Like, what? It's just, demeaning, nasty, rude. God damn. Like, anyone can make a list of random things.
Like, even this whole conversation is like she's supposed to be breaking up with him, and then she still takes the opportunity to demean him just some more, to like even ask him like, well, what are your responsibilities in life? And it's like, girl, just end it with him. Why are we trying to bring up more things that you could throw back in his face that makes him an incomplete person?
Like, damn, sorry, I have less responsibilities to you because you got kicked out of 18. Like, no shame, but sorry.
I'm sorry, my family loves me and take care of me.
And my dog sometimes. Like, damn, you want a bitch to take care of your dog so bad. Like, like, damn. It's just giving, like,
and
I don't know. It's
that's why Hannah's so angry, because nobody's eating her pussy.
Nobody eating her pussy. Nobody eating her pussy. Nobody taking care of her dog the way they want to. And like, I get it. She would love a man to do that for her, to eat her pussy, to take care of her dog. I get it. I would love that too. I would really love that. But if I get with someone and they're not doing that, I'm not gonna sit there and throw that in their face every single day for 30 days. I'm gonna just break up with them. Duh. Isn't that the easy thing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, she keeps berating him, trying to make him this better man. All of this other shit. As she's breaking up with him, still, she's asking him about his responsibilities. What payments do you have? He's listing his payments, and he's participating. He needs to stop. Like, I would have been like, okay, Hannah, stop.
I need Nick to be like Tim in this moment.
Right. I can't. I'm leaving. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And then I hate we got to the point where she was able to say like that she's gonna break it off with him, that they're just not gonna move forward with the wedding. Because it's like, you don't deserve to say that. Nick should say that.
Literally.
You're weird. Okay. But hey, we move. So they ended. They're done. I'm sick of talking about them. Let's move forward. Goddamn.
I feel bad for Nick, but
hey, he should have left. Like, I feel bad, but also, what the fuck was you doing? You can only be a nice guy for so far. We have Taylor and Garrett, and not perfect. Not a perfect couple. They had some turmoil.
They had their issues this time around, but real lovers, they work through it. And it's not nothing crazy like having illegitimate children that you don't want to claim.
So we start off and they're doing real cute. They're like planning stuff for the wedding, and they have all these letters that they want to like include in some form when they're wedding. So they're gonna have this big poster where you can put like letters and send letters out, a letter writing forum at their wedding, which is so cute to me.
So cute. But then he goes and says that, my mom may not want to be a part of it, but a lot of things can happen. We can make that change. And it's like, this is the second or third time he done brought up his mama or his family feeling some type of way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, of course it doesn't really matter, but like, what are their issues?
What they saying?
I go back to the pod days when he was very, very insecure about what her race is potentially. And I'm just thinking like, what are the conversations about this marriage that your family is having that's not being talked about? Because I'm very curious as to what's being said.
I'm very curious as well. I'm very curious. I'm big on if your family ain't acting right morally, they can get cut off too. Period. So there's just that on that.
And that's probably why he's ready to leave the state and go to San Diego and never look back. He changed his hair, changed the style, got his wife, and said, "Look,
y'all got it over there. I'll visit on holidays alone.
Period.
So you don't have to be mad about the kids. Nobody. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not going to assume anything of anybody, but I'm curious as to what those conversations are for sure. If I was Taylor, because interracial dating, it gets hard. That's definitely something to talk about, even with them, because like cultural differences are very, very different. If Garrett's around Taylor's family and they're like, "Oh, you being rude in some type of different way," that could be a possibility. If Taylor's around Garrett's family and they're uncomfy, as they tend to be, then I mean, there's that too. So there's definitely some situations with that. I don't know. I just feel like if I was Taylor and I was feeling like that might be part of the issue, I don't know what I would do. Because it, in my opinion, it would be my partner's responsibility to check that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, what does Taylor do in that situation? Like,
I feel like they're kind of just ignoring it for the time being. Like, I just think they're trying to like, especially Garrett, like he's trying to pretend like it's not a big deal, and like it could potentially be a big deal. Like if you want to bring her over for Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'm assuming he's just like, she'll get over it.
Yeah. Or is she gonna have to get over it? That's kind of the sense I'm getting. He's trying to say it in a nicer way. He's on TV. He don't want his mama to hear, and he don't want Taylor to feel weird. He's basically just like, I mean, my mom may not like it right off the bat, but she's gonna have to just start liking it sooner or later. And it's like, that's really the truth. Like, either they're literally gonna cut you all the way off, or they're gonna get over it. And it's seeming like they're likely just gonna have to get over it because it doesn't look like they're gonna cut him off. So on the way to the flapper party, the party.
20 is the Harlem Renaissance, the flapper, the whatever you want to call it.
Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby.
On the way to the party, bitch, we get like, and I will say, I don't want to get on the editors for this because it kind of seemed like Taylor. Okay, get on them. But it kind of seemed like Taylor like literally found out like on the way to the flapper party.
But I would like to know how they found out. Do you not have a camera following them to the flapper party? Because I'm trying to figure out, did she have his phone? Did she? Well, I guess she didn't have his phone because she didn't see what he said.
Yeah.
So did he randomly bring this up? Like, okay, we're walking. Hey, my ex texted me today.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Is that what happened? And it's like, if that's the case, what you bringing it up for now?
Yeah, and I think that was probably her issue. I think he told
it all day.
Yeah, I think he randomly tried to tell her on the way to the flapper party, which is like, were you trying to tell me on the way to the flapper party because you knew I can't go off on your ass at the flapper party? What's
and mind you, she still did.
And still did. You had the wrong one. The fuck? This ain't Let me shut up. It's just, Taylor is a POC. She gets they get shit done. We get shit shit gets done. You wasn't gonna get to
I
that.
don't know. He would have. I don't know. Hannah would have
got him. Shit. I guess this ain't no Ashely. So we get to the on the way. Taylor's like, look, I just want to make it clear that from my perspective, if another person from your past is hitting you up, you gotta shut it down. Shut it down right now. It's
block
no
them,
kiki.
Actually, I want them blocked, and I want to see you block them.
Block them. It's not no kiki. It's not no.
It ain't no like. It ain't no reply. You don't even gotta tell her that you seeing somebody else. Block
Nothing.
her.
Blocked.
And change the number at that. Change phone companies.
Boom. The fuck. So there's that on that. I know firsthand. If I'm ever hitting up an ex, it's on some shit. I don't give a fuck how they doing.
I'm
on some shit. I want to know how they doing. Okay. It's not no friendly checkup if that's your ex. Okay. So he knew what the fuck was up, and he should have knew what the fuck was up. Mm-hmm. Because even if he's claiming ignorance, you too old to be ignorant. Mm-hmm. Somebody put that on the shirt. You too old to be ignorant. Like,
That even sound like a shirt quote.
But no, boom. He says he just at this moment, he's like, look, I just like the message. I didn't really know what to do. And Taylor was like, okay, coming from someone who's been cheated on before, I'm just saying, moving forward, we can have no issues. I guess if you just like the message, I'm just going to have to be mad right now and I'll get over it later. And he's like, I don't want you to be mad now. I want to kiss you on your dirty lips because they have the makeup on and da-da-da-da. And she's like, okay, don't kiss me right now. It's not giving touch up on me right now, but I'll cool down and we'll move forward, right?
But apparently he was lying because he didn't just like the message.
Was it a lie or was it a fib?
But like my thing is, if you didn't just like it, why you tell me now? You tell me right before you're finna go to this party.
Yeah.
And now you don't even be 100% truthful about it.
He didn't want her to be mad.
And it's like that's what's wrong with niggas. I think they always worried about getting in trouble, so they go straight to lying.
Yeah.
It's so easy to read between them lies, and that's the issue with men. Men are sloppy liars.
Yeah,
they lie and they get caught up. They don't keep up with the lie. That's why he ended up getting caught up within the same goddamn night. If you just tell the truth and get it over with, everything's gonna be okay. You're not gonna get a whooping, Garrett. You're not gonna get put in punishment, Garrett. You're gonna have an adult conversation and work it out.
Yeah, and then like if it makes you feel like more in the wrong for you keeping information away, because it's like, why were you hiding that information? I do genuinely think he was just scared of a whooping, and it's like Taylor do seem like somebody who will whoop him, put him in that leather, tie him up. So I get it. He probably was gonna get a whooping. He probably did get a whooping that night, but still, like you need to be honestly. I'd say it. Either you should have just never told her or you should have just told the full truth. There's no reason for the middleman, because now it just makes me feel even worse. Like I feel like this was the worst Taylor would have felt in this situation. If you never would have told her and she never found out, boom, she doesn't feel anything. If you just told her everything, she just lets it all out in that moment. Now you're like dragging out her issues with the situation because you're refraining from telling her the whole truth, nothing but the truth and all of the truth, or whatever you say. So I hope you got. So later on in the night, he's explaining to Ashely and Tyler, and Taylor's with them, and he's like letting them know. He's like, yeah, this girl had texted me and we had got a little tiffle because I had replied to her, but it wasn't even giving a reply. And Taylor was like, wait, that's not what you told me earlier. And he was like, no, I liked it. I liked it, and that's what I did tell you that I had liked it. And she was like, but you didn't say nothing about a reply. He was like, well, yeah, I did. Well, let me just finish the story. I did. I just said a little something like, I met somebody, have a good life, don't worry, bye, shit like that. And then Taylor's like, ooh,
but that's not what you said.
She said, this is weird because you just lied. Like she was taken aback. She was like, wait, I need a moment for myself.
They've been like this fairy tale couple almost, like kind of perfect, no problems, like, and this bomb hit, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? Because this is like, what, 10 days before the marriage at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this bomb is dropping. Like I said, it ain't worse than kids. But it's definitely something to be, looking out for because you never know what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, it just felt weird. I do feel like because later on Taylor goes by herself. She cries a little bit to Ashely, and she's explaining like this is weird as fuck because he randomly lied and he didn't have to lie, and it makes me feel uncomfortable because he's supposed to be meeting my mama tomorrow, my parents, my family. So but they end up talking by the end of the flapper party, and Taylor's basically calling him out for not really telling the truth, and he's kind of trying to dim the issue and explain that he was just scared, he was nervous, he didn't really know how to explain it, he didn't mean to say it, he didn't think that him texting her was different from him just liking it. And she's like, well, no, that's just the facts. And he's like, well, those were the details. I didn't know you needed all the details. She's like, I didn't need all the details. I needed the facts. And what the facts was that you actually texted her a message, not that you sent him a like. And he was like, oh, I just thought those were the details. And she was like, okay, well, you have a different reason between facts and details. And I have a different opinion of what facts and details.
And it's like arguing facts versus details. And it's like,
Basically, what he was saying was, I think this is what I think the truth is from Garrett's perspective. I think he refrained from telling her the fact that he responded knowing that it was worse, but he also felt like that if she was going to get mad at something, him just telling her that he liked it was all he wanted her to get mad about, and he didn't want her to know nothing else, just so she doesn't feel more worried or stressed. He was trying to alleviate, I feel like, some of her potential worry, because none of it really mattered to him, in my opinion. I don't think none of it mattered. I don't think he cared either the less. So he just was like, let me give her the least amount of information and move forward, and I'm not going to give her the details.
Right.
And it's like, in reality, you were lying and you got caught up. And then when Taylor's explaining, like, no, you could have just told me the full situation. He's trying to pretend in his mind that he did, because I don't think his intentions was like to genuinely refrain it. He was just trying to like, ease the pain. But boo, didn't like that. We move forward. After this, he meets her parents and her family, and it went good.
Yeah, like back to fairy tale. Like they got over this. She woke up the next morning. It seemed like they had a good off-camera conversation, because I don't know how it kind of like did a 180 like that. She seemed fine when he met the family. I'm like, okay, girl, looks like y'all talked it out and we're good to go.
She probably saw the messages.
Right.
She probably saw it probably said what he said it said on some have a good day type of shit, and she probably read it and was like, okay, you dismissed that hoe. Let's move forward.
And now it's time to block her.
Now let's block. Let's know in the future, moving forward.
Are there any other exes?
Right. Boom. So that was them. It was really cool. I thought her mom was gonna be mad. She didn't seem mad, but
in the preview they tried to clip it like her mama had an issue.
Yeah, and she explains like both of their parents still have to get used to it, but that she seemed just as accepting, even more accepting than Garrett's mom. No shade. She was at the little wedding rehearsal thing where she was trying on the gowns, and she was supportive. So I was like, okay, the mama's there. They're having a good time. So I think it was fun. I think they're good, and I think they're getting married. Hashtag say I do.
They're definitely getting married. It's happening.
Amen. Next. Oh. Honestly, I'm glad it's not a lot to talk about, because we did already talk about. You have a lot.
Well, no, I thought we should just save them for last. The fact that Ramses and Marissa is last is crazy.
Okay, let's go to Ramses and Marissa.
No, we can still do Ashely and Tyler.
Okay, let's do Ashely and Tyler. You sure?
Yeah.
Ramses and Marissa is last, y'all. Okay, Ashely and Tyler. Very quickly, because it wasn't. We kind of got what was happening. Last episode, Lee tried to tell me Ashely was giving birth. This episode, she started cacawing. There was nothing I could really do. There's nothing.
No, I'm really low-key disappointed in Ashely, because, like, of course she didn't know the full story. She does not know the full story, but it's just, I don't know. That was a red flag, And it's like the fact that he did not tell her in the pods, the fact that he felt the need to drop this bomb and then claim that the kids don't know who he is. Like, I'm just hoping that Ashely, after now knowing everything, that when we get to this reunion, she has fully left him. Because to say that the kids don't know what you look like, that's a blatant lie. There are several pictures where those kids know exactly what you look like. Yeah. And he tells the story about, him wanting to help his this couple that he was friends with have a baby, but he didn't go into detail about how he had sex with the surrogate mama. It wasn't insemination in the hospital like they do. He was effing that lady.
Yeah.
And had 3 whole kids behind his fiance's back and her fiance's back. Yeah. So all of those details got left out conveniently. The kids don't know what he looked like, and they're sperm donor babies. Whole time he in pictures and videos with them wearing the shirt talking about some world's best dad.
And he's still lying to her. So I will. I guess
it kind of goes back to what you were trying to say last episode. Like, if he's treating her right, how is she supposed to, go about it? Because I feel like everything else is perfect other than this one situation. Yeah. Like this one situation. However, this one situation is huge and probably a big, like it's showing a big personality trait of his that low key may not be the best person for you.
And this is gonna sound so horrible and negative and terrible, and it's probably not true, but it's almost like I don't know what Ashely is thinking, but a part of me is almost like, is she thinking like it don't get no better than this? Like, even with this issue, is she like, I mean, he has this big issue, but who else am I gonna find? The next person I'm gonna find is probably gonna be worse than this. It's like, I do feel like when it comes to relationships and finding the one, there is some grace you have to give. And I feel like Ashely might be at the point where she's giving too much grace. And that's why I'm scared, because it's like, a part of me sees it, because if Ashely doesn't get with Tyler and she does go through life and she is trying to find a man, there's probably men out here who's actively cheating, who beating on their wives. There's men out here who ain't shit, who ain't gonna do anything to help her, who aren't God-fearing. So many things that she wants a check mark to check off. He checks off all of them, and then he has this big ass X, of course. But it's like, she might find someone with 10 little X's, and she might just be like, I would rather the big ass X. Which is unfortunate and sad.
To me, that just gives a little bit of settle. Like, you need to
and I think that's what it's giving. I do think that's what it's giving.
And it doesn't need to give that, because him lying, it shows that he's willing to lie over big things. He's willing to cheat. He's willing to deceive. If these qualities are in him and he's actively pretending like he's not that person, then he's going to do those same things to you. Point blank in the period. He wants to hide that from you as long as possible. So when they do it to you, he can try to manipulate you to stay. So because you don't think that he's actually this person, and he's been this person.
Yeah. Very unfortunate.
Apparently, there was a 5-part series that was posted about Tyler in his role as a daddy.
In his role as a daddy. This is my thing. I cannot wait for this reunion. For a lot of these couples I want to see at the reunion, but this one I'm interested. I do think they're still married, probably. I do think she's going to just honestly settle. I think it's a settle. I think it's a situation where it's like, she doesn't.
How do you ignore all of those things?
I don't think she believes it can get any better than this. That sounds crazy.
But
I genuinely think she was in a fairy tale with Tyler, and he's done so many great things. And kind of what she said at the flapper party, she was kind of telling the girl, she was like, yeah, he did this situation, but everything else is so great. And it's like, it sucks, because it's like, dang, everything else is so great. And it's like, he has these kids that he was surrogated. I don't know why he wouldn't tell me, but everything else is so great. And I think she's getting blinded by the fact that everything else is so great. Now,
and if he is lying to her.
And he's lying to her still. Now, if we go to the reunion and she finds out.
If she sticks with him after everything that's now happening, then there's nothing I can do for her. There's nothing I can do for her.
Yeah. Damn. I think it's giving bird, y'all. Caw. So we just gonna have to see. Yep. But yeah, that's basically it. They go karting. They doing all these bonding things. That's the thing. Other than this, they really are still the second best couple.
Renee Loves Reality said,
"Oh no,
she's a bird." That's that. On IG comment, she said he never lied to her. He just wasn't upfront.
He never lied to her. He just wasn't upfront. She sounded like me last episode.
Literally.
Damn. And I was just playing. A little bit.
Ashely, don't do this to yourself, girl. Get out while you can.
Honestly, girl, no. Do it, queen. Stay with him. He got you. It may be you're the one that he doesn't do anything wrong to.
Oh, Lord. You just as delusional as her.
I just promote delusion. She's happy. So they go. I think she's happy. I think she's the happiest girl on this panel. Literally, she gonna be at the reunion. My ring. Yes, he got 3 kids. Okay, and like, be happy, queen. Be happy until you're not. So, boom, they go karting. They talk about kids again. Ugh, yuck.
Stay talking about kids. Like, this man is low key obsessed with kids. He gonna give her kids and go to the next one.
Yuck. They go jump out of the plane. That's cute, I guess. She said she always wanted to jump out of the plane with her man. This is her man, and her 3 kids. And Tyler was like, yeah, nobody could have got me to do that. You sure? Because you claim nobody would have got you to have kids. And you got 3 of them. So boom, there you go. They talk about kids again. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
We had the dress fitting too with her mom.
That was cute.
Yeah. No thoughts?
She didn't meet his family.
Yeah,
well, I guess she couldn't meet his kids. He's hiding them.
And that's why I found weird. Like, Ashely nor Marissa met Ramses or Tyler's family. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of a red flag as well. Like, were they just not available? Did they not feel it? Like, because maybe there's some skeletons that could have came out the closet by meeting these people's families.
Exactly. So it's like, what's the tea on that? I don't know. But we'll see, child. Damn, we really got to talk about these people. This is a banger, y'all. I don't know how I'm feeling. They've been confusing me from the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Like, every single conversation that they've had over these last 2 episodes, Marissa and Ramses, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know where the conversation starts, where it ends. And I'm just like, are they bonding? Like, are they? I don't know if they're gonna end up being married. Like, it just doesn't. I don't get. Like, it's kind of going into Alex and Tim territory, where it's like, are y'all really invested in this? And then sometimes I'm like, okay, y'all do seem really invested, but it also seems kind of like childish a little bit. Like, it's so weird.
I think they are compatible in some ways. I just think that there's, actual relationship wants that each other have that they can't provide each other that much. And I think that's the issue. I think they're like struggling between this fence of, we are compatible and we could have a relationship, and what we want in a relationship at this moment isn't really matching up, and we're trying to get married. So I think I would say that's kind of the issue. And then they're talking in code all the time, so I don't really fucking know.
Yeah, it's like clearly there was something that happened off camera, and now they're reenacting it on camera, but they're talking in fucking code.
Yeah, what I got from it at the start of the episode was like, last night Ramses and Marissa ended up having another discussion, and it came off from Marissa's side that she was going back on what she said about kids and having kids in 3 to 5 years, because at the previous conversation about kids, she hesitantly said, I guess 3 to 5 years, like more on the 3 side. And Ramses still confidently took that as 3 to 5. And I think the conversation they had indicated that Marissa would be okay or want kids even before that, which is fine. And I feel like she was showing hesitancy in the first conversation anyways, and he probably should have picked up on that. But also, I guess she should say it and be stern about what she says. I think it's just the whole kids conversation is weird, because I think with Marissa, first of all, she can't have kids for too long. Like the bodies do change over time. And she's like, what, 32? Going to be 35, and isn't that when it starts deteriorating? And then also on her side, I feel like it's not something she wants to end the relationship over, but she does want it to be understood that she will prefer to have kids. So I think she's scared to bring it up. You know what I mean? Like, she's scared to put her foot down on it, because it's not a foot downer. It's just something she really, really, really prefers. And she wants to let that be known, but also she wants him to have his peace. And it's just a lot. I don't know. And he don't want kids, even though he old as fuck. So, and that's where the childishness becomes. Not that you're childish for not wanting to have kids. Everyone doesn't want to have kids. I get that. But a part of me doesn't necessarily understand how you're willing to get married very fastly. And, you're very old and you still want kids. You just don't want them until 3 to 5 years, rather like 2 to 3. I don't know.
Now, see, I feel like I'm looking missing something, because I thought that they were having a conversation about intimacy.
They eventually start also having a conversation about intimacy. Okay. That's the issue. They bleed through these conversations, but the very, very first one was still about the 3 to 5 year situation when it came to the babies. After that, Marissa starts talking about the sex issue. And this is kind of how their conversations goes. Because like you said, last episode, they did the same shit. Because they started off talking about the marriage and what the marriage would be like religiously. And then they bled into politics. And they did the same shit here. They started talking about the kids and then they bled into the actual sex life. Recently, she's been sick, I guess. And I think she was on her period, she said later in the episode. And so they've been having issues with, her not wanting to have sex, him wanting to have sex a lot. And, she doesn't want him to feel unsatisfied with her not being able to have sex. And this conversation lasts throughout the episode. And it's like, not that Ramses is too old to not understand this concept, but I'm confused why he doesn't understand it.
I mean, you're 35. Are y'all supposed to be fucking every day like rabbits?
And it seems like that's what he's expecting. And it's like, why do you need to even have the conversation about how sometimes she won't want to have sex? Like, isn't that clear?
Mm-hmm. And he was not reassuring her at all, because she was saying things like, if I'm postpartum or if I get sick, like, or would you want to cheat on me? Like, if I'm not able to fully satisfy you, is that something that you would do? And it's like, it was like, no, but like, I feel like he wasn't reassuring her that he would be there for her, that it wouldn't be an issue, that, I will love you as you are. It seems like she has to maintain certain things or it's going to be an issue, specifically sex. And it's like, girl, we're supposed to be building a relationship. Like, I just feel like sex, it's like, of course it's something to have, but it's very childish to try to put that on the forefront of something that needs to happen to keep the relationship going.
Yeah, and he talked about how, like, this was my favorite stage. This was the most important stage to me because I needed it to be important that our physical connection was there. And it's like, what the fuck is that most important to you? Like, and I feel like it's okay to be like a physical touch romantic type of person. That's probably his main love language, shit like that. But it just still feels, hard for me to hear that your most important part of the thing was that y'all had a physical connection, when it's like there's so much other shit we need to be worried about, and I feel like that are more important to a sustaining relationship than just the physical part. But for Ramsey's side, it's probably just the physical part. Like, he just want to not have a job and fuck like a rabbit. Like, he want to be primal. He want to live out in the woods and have somebody to fuck and lay down. Is what it sounds like. And that's the issue. But yeah, he talks about the physical touch stuff, and Marissa talks about how it gets overstimulated when he do all that petting shit. And I was saying that, like, I'm not a physical touch person. So if I get with someone who's a physical touch person, it feels overstimulating with you touching me all the fucking time. Goddamn, move. Fucking touching on her face and then touching her hair and then da 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 da. And at first I thought she was cool with it because she's like a mirror and she really like reflects back what people be fucking with. But clearly she wasn't that cool with it. And it was given overstimulating. But I don't know how that's going to work because he seems so, invested in the physical.
He also seems available a lot. Where's the job? I just like some of these things wouldn't be a problem if he had a regular 9 to 5. It's no shame.
That's honestly true because, of course, you can fuck all the time because you're never tired. That's the thing. Marissa was like, "I be tired. Like sometimes I be tired. I be on my period. I be going to work. I be going."
And he don't do nothing but put shells in his hair all day. No, because I'm really sick of him. I just feel like it's childish a little bit. Like, I feel like I low-key am right about the style being on him. It's like, you're kind of immature a little bit. And it's like he's just progressive, liberal, Mr. Woke City.
Yeah.
But then he gets upset when, she wants to be on birth control. He gets upset when she doesn't want to be touched all the time. She gets upset when he feels like she may not want to give up the puss at all times.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like he need. He just need like a sex toy, and that's fucking weird. Like it should not be based on. And I think Marissa does have a lot of sex. Like there was even a moment after this, she was like, I think we saw off the
they've been fucking since Mexico.
Yeah, they've been fucking real bad. And I get it. Great, you have someone else with a hot libido.
And it's like they've probably been fucking this whole time. And like the 1 week, the 1 week where like, oh, I'm on my period, I'm not into it like that. It's we have to have these conversations on, if it's going to be an issue later on in the relationship. And
I was just gonna say that, like, he probably got the girl who's had the most sex, and it's still a complaint coming from him. And that's when it's like, okay, yes, y'all need to be matching on what y'all like in a relationship. If you like a lot of sex, y'all both should like a lot of sex. But you probably got one of the women who do like a lot of sex, and you're still complaining. So now there's a situation with you. We need you to get a hobby, babe. We need you to get a hobby. And that's what it sounds like he need. He just need like a sex toy. And that's fucking weird. Like it should not be based on. And I think Marissa does have a lot of sex. Like there was even a moment after this, she was like, I think we saw off the, the 1 week, the 1 week where like, oh, I'm on my period, I'm not into it like that. It's like what do you do for fun? Get a job. Like, get something to do to distract your mind very quickly, because it's too much. So they go to the flapper party. Marissa gets to meet Bowden for the first time. This wasn't no drama either. They tried to make it seem like it was drama on the preview. It wasn't no drama. She was like, I mean, he's
I
cool.
definitely
Whatever.
thought seeing Bowden was going to be nasty, but it gave challengers. They all talked and laughed and had a good time.
Yep. Nobody got jealous. Nothing. So there's that. I was saying they should get polyamorous. Honestly, they should all just get together. I'm here for that. And then let me see. So boom. Marissa, she don't care about Bowden. Ramsey don't care about Bowden. Boom. After that, they get home. They're filling out the marriage license. Ramsey don't know her birthday. Don't know where she from. He don't know her favorite color.
Don't know her last name.
Don't know her last name. He don't know shit. But we move. They fill it out. They're all happy, and then they have a conversation on the boat. This was weird as fuck, because they started off talking like, I think romantically, like normally, and they were talking about the wedding and the dinner. And Marissa was like, yeah, oh, and you got to get my mom a present for the dinner. And he was like, for the dinner or the wedding? She was like, for the wedding and the dinner, or whatever it is. And then they like started getting confused over when he needed to give her mom a gift. And he was like, okay, I'll give your mom a gift. I'm just not sure. And I just need more clarity. And then this kind of spiraled to Marissa saying, I don't feel like you're taking on any of the mental load for the wedding. Do you even care about like the music and the shit? Like, would you even be doing this if I wasn't doing it? And he's basically like, I mean, that shit ain't important to me.
And it's like, what's important to you? Like
that pussy. Being wet and ready when I get home. Okay. And that's the problem. Because please. But yeah, he basically said he don't want to spend his energy on that. He want to spend his energy on them. And it's like, yes, but no.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. You definitely, like, maybe we need Hannah in this relationship. Like, we need somebody that's gonna tell him what he needs to be doing, because I don't know. He just seems a little bit too much go with the wind type of person. Like, what do you take seriously?
But I feel like also he doesn't. I don't think he's going to. He's too. Not that he's too old, but it's like this. Ramses is a fully developed human.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not going to be much of a change at this point. Like, at least Nick is kind of young. Like, that is still some growth that can happen. But Ramses is more so like, this is like mostly who Ramses is. Everyone can still change and grow. But at this point, I think what he wants is what he wants. And that's why it's like, I don't know. Marissa's basically saying, I need you to take on some of this mental load. I definitely said that that's something I want in a partner, you know, in the pods. And he's like, I could still do that. It's just, you know, I don't see things as important. And I think that's the issue. I think he's willing to take on the mental load of shit he finds important. Right. Like, how are we going to have not have these babies in 3 to 5 years and still have sex? That's what he'll think about and he'll have an answer for. But the wedding and giving the mom a gift, he don't care about that shit. And it's like, if Marissa, if you needed somebody who cared about that, you kind of have to reevaluate what you're gonna do about that, right? I don't know.
Which is why I think it's leading to so many situations like how we saw at the end of the drop with them coming into another argument halfway through.
Yeah, I didn't get it. What was happening here?
I don't know. And I think it's because they're kind of like, their relationship is very surface level. I feel it's not that deep. So like, clearly Marissa is starting to feel these doubts and these feelings. And I think Ramses is too, but like, it comes out in these spurts that are clearly off camera that we don't get to see.
Yeah, because he says something about like that. He's like, I love you, but there are some things that we're gonna have to work on when it comes to like learning to live together and be together. And she says like, yeah, it's normal to have nervousness, but people outside of our relationship shouldn't influence that. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? Did he talk to his mom? Did they have a meeting with his parents that Marissa didn't go to because his parents didn't want to be on screen? So we didn't get to see it. And then he had a revelation. Like, what does she mean outside people? Does his family not approve? But they didn't want to be on TV. So they didn't meet her, or they only met her off TV, or they never met her. He just told her and they don't approve of the situation. And that's what he's talking about. I don't know what they're talking about, but somebody doesn't approve. And Ramses is getting a little influenced. And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of things we have to work on. There's a lot of misconnections because this is marriage. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like for Ramses, because he's been in a marriage before, I'm surprised it's taking him, some time to realize whether or not he needs to like buckle down with this or not.
Right.
So I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I honestly feel like one of them is gonna say no, either both of them, or maybe just Ramses low key. Because I just feel like, they're kind of just they're in the honeymoon phase of it. Like, of course, they have the puppy dog eyes. The sex is probably great. They're both physically attracted to each other, but I feel like they're missing that deeper connection. And I feel like this is a relationship that could work outside of this experiment if they dated for some months. And really worked out what they both need from each other, but they're not doing it. And like, we're not getting clearly all of it on camera. So it keeps coming out in these spurts like this. And it's like, where's the confusion? Because we don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do. It's giving chop for me. I think it's giving work it out off camera. I think this is something that is like, keep trying off camera. There's like disconnects that I feel like aren't real disconnects or don't have to be if they just weren't in a stressful situation or if it wasn't happenstance or if it wasn't a rush. They're being rushed to get married at this point. It's very difficult to really want to buckle down and say, yes, I do. And it's like, there's a lot we need to learn.
This joke again. She says, if Ramsey says no, I'm sad for Marissa mom's reaction.
Oh,
Marissa mama gonna hurt that boy, okay? She gonna be cussing him out. She gonna be throwing the cameras down, tearing the whole.
I want Ramsey to say no and Marissa to say yes. Wait, does the guy say no first? Like, how do we know? He can say no first.
Watched the wedding, so I don't really know.
Because like I kind of want her to already say yes and then him say no, because that would be a guy.
That would be nasty.
Girl, but that'll be interesting. We will be back for next drop. What's next drop? The finale? It's 2 more episodes. So next drop is 1 episode, and then there's another one, which I think is the reunion after that. So yeah, we're finna get at the last drop. Girl, we here. This was cute, fun, and fresh. We really wrapped this up.
No tea in the comments for your man, girl. NC says Tyler's baby mama recently came out and said Tyler has not seen his children since September 2023. That was right before he went to film Love is Blind. So he went from being an active father to an absent father. Ciao. Oh, and quite frankly, I'm looking at both Ashely and Tyler sideways.
So I did see that. And
if Ashely stayed with him at their reunion, it's giving, girl, we gonna work it out with my own family. She's like, I'm gonna just ignore the sperm donor babies like him and create my own family. Because what?
I was thinking that, like, because I did see that. I did see something along those lines, but I didn't really get deep into it. But I was thinking, now, if Ashely said cut that shit off, and he actually cut that shit off since September 2023, I mean, I guess she got some power on her because that's the whole family.
Well, Renee says, and he owed child support.
Get out. They need to take that nigga to court.
Oh, Ashely, is you gonna be paying the child support, girl?
What child? I think that's what Ashley's on. I think Ashley's type of
I'm not in it. I'm not in it.
Yeah, I think she's on what? Does he have to pay child support if it was supposed to be sperm donor? Girl, that wasn't sperm donor.
Girl.
All right, y'all. We'll be back next week.
They got the evidence to prove that it's not just sperm donor. Like
you have pictures with Daddy Day Camp on it. Okay. So boom, we are wrapping it up. We will see y'all next week. We will be talking about the finale of Love is Blind, and then we'll be back for the reunion. Girl, it's gonna be tea. It's definitely gonna be tea. Let's get into these yeses and noses. Who says I do and who say I don't. Next episode is gonna be tea. The reunion's gonna be tea. Make sure y'all are tuning into our other shit. We're covering Survivor and the challenge as well. So definitely get into that. And thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, bitch. We out. Period. Wow.